Hey, Before I'm going to send you the link. Unity was answer to this woman, to this woman. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are having a safe holiday. Those of you who are educator, I know you guys are up for the week. You return to return next week or sometime this week. Hey Paul, I'm gonna send you the link. It's Sunday, as all of you know. Doc is not here. Normally she's here with me. We've been on this for years. She's in Liberia. She has been complaining about the internet a little bit, but she's in Liberia. I'm hoping that she will come on. Maybe she will, maybe she will not, but it's kind of late in in that time zone at this point. But tonight we're gonna be talking about, it's a question. Okay. Also in the quotation, where are the leaders? Okay. The leaders of Liberia, to be precise. Okay. Um, why are we the way we are? I'm gonna have a few persons on here to conversate and also get your input as to, Sylvia, I'm still waiting for you guys, where we are headed as a nation. I'm not sure. Listen, I wrote the other day, I brought this book for a purpose. This book right here. This is a history book. It's actually a, a test manual or study guide for certification, okay, for educator, especially if you're going to be teaching history in the revolutionary history in different civil war in America, worship America, yes, and governance system. All right. Hey, Precious. So I wrote the other day on my page, and somebody wrote. I didn't want to disrespect the person, and especially when it comes to our governance system, which is democracy, how it should function. Okay, I literally put a textbook definition, and also cross that with the different dictionary to say to the Liberian people, one of and this is because she denies it. All right, so let me go back because I don't want to give it to her. She denied it, that she didn't write. You remember when there was a post that we were told that it came from Kula Fofana. All right, and she came back, she said she did not write that. but I'm going to go ahead and just read it. I'm making a disclaimer. She did not write that. That's what she said. She came back and counted that she did not write that. All right. So she didn't own up to it. It says here, the government is not responsible for how you plan your life from January to December. Besides, all of us are not Christian. So why complain about Christian being heard? Okay. Um, um, JMB will fix it next year, please. But when people came and wrote, I think at that time, 99% wrote in less than 18 minutes. And she came back in Canada and said it was not her, and we would take that into that thing. Now, here is what I wrote, and I'm gonna restate it here. So a lot of us don't know what is required of our government. All right. Let me give you a simple way to put it. God, your father. Okay. So let's assume God is our father. All right. Even if you're atheist, let's just make believe that. Okay. Let's assume that the majority of us are believers, and some people are not believers. So we're gonna come in and just be holistic. So you do not believe, and that is okay. But let's look at the land that you have given to you by your father. And your father is telling all of you, I'm giving you this land. Okay. When you go, I got rice on this land. I got cassava on this land. I got gold on this land. I got tree on this land. So you can cut some and build your house. So you can cut some, maybe trade it. So you can cut some, maybe make other craft or craftsmanship. Okay. Alfonso, hey, sweetheart. Hi. People from the Dama. Oh my God, that is good. So all of you, JB Brooks, all of you, Ayuba, thank you, all of you being here. Okay. So, and our pastor here, Va, I still owe you a conversation. We will have that conversation. So your father said to you, this is what I'm leaving all of you with. Okay. I'm a good father. I'm not going to just put you in a place, leave you on the fire, don't give you. Okay. Your land is fertile. Okay. You got water, you got rain, you got everything that you need in this cycle of life. So y'all come together and say, okay, Papa will not be here. Say Papa and Mama will not be here. We will come together with decide. One of us or two of us will lead us, and everything will be entrusted to them so they can divide, so all of us can have a good life and a safe place to be. All right. And we'll protect each other. So you all agree and give and say, you know what? Peter, Paul, Zaulo, Joseph, Nyakwai, Koto, yeah, we want you all to lead us. So you're the one will take care of all of the things. You tell us what to do, so all of us can have a good life. So now, the few group that we all agree on to take now and divide all the product, okay? The farm land, the street land, the water, the food, okay? To distribute the labor and also the benefit of the labor. The people who put in charge, the people say, nah, y'all got to stand outside and wash. Y'all will do all the work. Y'all will stand outside and wash. We and our children there will enjoy. And when we finish, we turn our children there all over. We get them the best education. We will nurture them. We'll get them good food. They will grow big and strong. And when our time over, you and your children then will not be the housekeeper, will be your children never. We will take everything your children then will be hungry. And if they're hungry, they go steal. We will beat them to death. Or y'all will beat each other because all of y'all, they say when water dry, fish eat fish, right? This is what government is, all right? And I'm going to read this to you from the textbook definition because that's how structures are set up. Structures are set up based on certain ideology. A governance system that is set up is based on a belief system, be it a democracy, okay, a dictatorship, an autocracy, or theocracy, which is based on religious teaching, okay? In democracy, here we go. The government serves as the guardian body of society, even the ethics and the moral of the nation is directed by the leadership of that country. Okay, when you hear they say Moses law, Moses law was the law that reigned in the time of Moses' leadership. Okay, before the kings, before the years of the kings or the age of the kings. We say eye for an eye. We have graduated. We've come down to here. But here it is. Government serves as the building body of society, responsible for establishing and enforcing laws, maintaining order, and ensuring justice is provided or provides direction through leadership. Allocate resources to meet societal needs and protect citizens from all internal and external threats. Additionally, the government promotes social development, foster or promote economic stability, and influence public behavior. The word is influence public behavior. If the governance system, if the leaders do not promote or influence proper behavior, your nation will be in chaos. If your leaders are rogues, they're liars, they're child molester, Facebook, let me come up first. My page is monetized. It's also, what do you call it, verified. There's certain words that I cannot say. They will shut my system down. They will reduce my payment. They will also take my post down. So I have to be very careful with my choice of words, okay? So Facebook, again, this is for advocacy purposes and education purposes. Please do not take my page down, all right? So to foster or promote or encourage is the same exact word, all right? To create a safe, a fair would be equitable, all right? And thriving community. Ultimately, its role is to organize and regulate society. Ultimately, a government role is what? To organize, regulate society in a way that it balances individual freedom with collective well-being. All of us are connected. Okay? Somebody came under my post and say, oh, it's ChatGPT. Listen, as an educator, we now use ChatGPT. In fact, we use not just ChatGPT, we use AI. We use Magic School. We use Gemini. We have a lot of tools. You see, the problem with us when we don't understand what is training, what is to be, we don't project the future. Most African nations, we don't project the future. I remember in my community when Facebook first came up, the pastor then was projecting, oh, Facebook, that the devil coming. That the devil coming. If you're on Facebook, you're worshiping the devil. Most pastors in our Liberian community, they want to deal with that. Y'all go back to 2010. Y'all go back to 2011. Y'all go back to 2012. Y'all go back to 2009. Y'all go back to 2008. It was the talk in your churches. I know some pastors that I know in person who were preaching that. Okay? But today, the pastor then who caught up onto Facebook early, they're multi-millionaires because they can reach all across the world. The young people that are learning AI, you got young children as young as 12 and 13 years old, creating their own site and parents saving their money, becoming multi-millionaires. So somebody came on my post to see, I think they were trying to be shaming. Or as an educator, I'm learning every day. We are lifetime learners. 2 years ago, our children were using AI in some of their classes. And the state saw important to make sure the teachers got ahead, that we knew how to use them, catch up with them, okay? Just as when you are writing, before when I went to school earlier on in the early 90s, right? You weren't allowed to have more than 20% of somebody else's work, which we call plagiarism. And if you did, you must cite. Today, You can get up to almost 60% of your work, okay? As other people, you just must give them credit, because literally there's nothing that you're written that you're going to write that somebody else have not written about, but you must give them the credit, or you must paraphrase. That's that. So because some of you are behind, does not mean everyone is behind. I'm not here to fight today. I'm here to just educate. All right. I'm waiting for let me send this to let me send this stuff to uh um where is Lofa and Emmerich? Let me send this let me send it to Paul. All right. Again, like I told you, I thought I sent this to Emmerich. I didn't. Oh, I did. I knew I did. Okay. Now, I'm going somewhere with this, folks. I am seriously going somewhere with this. So y'all please bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. There is a reason for which I'm saying where I'm saying right now. Okay. I posted me. That was me. Okay. Got dressed up, went out this to a graduation of a young man who graduated early. No, his parents didn't pay. And no, he didn't go to the who among who school. He went to a school in his district, a government school. He graduated early, also got a full rag scholarship. So his grandma was celebrating him. That was the party I was going to. We saw this child born. This child is barely 18 years old, got a full rag scholarship. No, we don't. And I wanted to, I'm gonna finish my thought, but let me send this to Paul, and I finish and I will tell you what is happening, because some of the Liberian people are coming in my inbox and insulting. Okay. And insulting. Okay. Calling me diaper butt and all of that. But that's okay. Eventually, when we get old, if you're in a civilized society, all of us will wear diapers. I want to get to the age that I can wear diapers. Okay. I want God to bless me long enough that I get to the age that I can have my big, uh, big girl drawers and big boys drawers. It's not an insult to me at all. It's a blessing. Now, as I was reading, let me continue this, and I will post it under so people can go through it. All right. So it said, "What the ultimate road, okay, is to organize for a government, organize, regulate society in a way that balances individual freedom with collective well-being. This direction ensure order, progress, and stability within a society." Okay. So let's look at some key ways that this happens. The government sets the rules and regulation or regulates. Government create laws that establish acceptable behavior. Acceptable behavior. Okay. Government sets the rule for that. Okay. And also defines, there goes his Yama, also defines, where am I with my blind set? Behavior, and also defines consequences for violation, ensuring justice and fairness. Government regulation guides economic activity, environmental protection, and public safety. That's what government does. All right. Government provides leadership and vision. The leadership must set short-term and long-term goals, policies, and priorities that reflect the value and need of society. Advancing technology, I put that there because this is where we are. We're in the age of technology. All right. For instance, telecommunication, improving education, building infrastructure, road, logistical advantages, addressing inequality. So yes, government is responsible how the people plan their life to some degree from the beginning, because you must invest in the people. I'm where I am because when I came to this country, they provided me education. I'm able to find job. There are only about 4% unemployment. And there are people here who got 2 and 3 jobs if they want to. Now, let me bring you. Says Yama, your stuff not doing though. Says Yama, you have to go out and come back in. Okay? Now, I just did two. Government is responsible to maintain order through law enforcement, court, and military government, prevent chaos, and protect citizens from internal and external threat. Government is responsible to allocate resources. It is the duty of government to manage resources like budgets, taxes, public spending, okay, to support societal needs such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure, okay. In, encouraging social development, government invests in programs that promotes equality, cultural preservation, and community engagement, influencing behavior through policies, campaigns, and initiatives and incentives. Also, government guides public behavior, such as promoting health, sustainability, and civic responsibility. By directing society, government ensure the communities can thrive, work collectively, and address challenges in an organized manner. So, if somebody asks you, if somebody in government tells you they are not responsible how you plan your life, but they have been waiting for 6 years since the last time they were in government for them to go back into government. Okay? When they and their husband and their wives and their auntie and their uncle are all in government, but don't promote job. But today, since your mind is here, we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about people that we bring in to lead us, how vast the knowledge is, how patriotic they are. We will also talk about the lawlessness in the country. Today
Okay.
we witness in real time a young man being murdered, young men killing another young man, taking blood and busting his head. That is so, Sister Yama, that is so traumatizing. But I'm going to stop here, folks. Y'all, please share. We have more people here. You're going. I know when we don't curse here. We try to make sense. We try to educate. We try to impact reason and logical thought process or thinking to invoke beyond just your emotion, but your reasoning. That's why we are here. Sister Yama, welcome. And it's good having you back again. I think you're very intentional when you say what you said. So I'm holding you up to your word. What's up, sis? Talk to
Yes,
us.
fine.
Your thought. Yeah.
Hello, second thought and members of followers of Yasini Martin K, aka Boss Lady, aka Iron Lady. My name is Yarma B. and Cully. Um, you can call me Mrs. Cully for short if you want. Um, yeah, thanks for the invite. And I think I listened to part of it. You talk about where are the leaders. I think that's where I
Mhm,
started.
mhm,
And how does leaders influence public behavior?
mhm.
So, and then I just, I couldn't watch the video. I can't. Even the pictures are heartbreaking. It just shows the destitute and how maybe we're Liberians because we didn't grow up with a lot of protests or a lot of your voice matter. We don't know that the people don't know that they have a whole lot of power. So they take, and then they combust. Okay. So that who takes a break in broad daylight. I don't even want to be that graphic, and hit someone with it because somebody said the store, or even if you see them stealing, you still cannot take the law into your own hand. But it stems, in my opinion, it stems from somewhere. Like you said, where are the leaders and influence public behavior? Just a couple of weeks ago, the leaders were taking the law into their own hands, right? We still got two speakers, right? And
Yes.
a budget was passed,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
A budget that was not really contested, passed by 33
Right.
people. So Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. It doesn't even stem from the rule of law. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't. I don't think it came from there. It comes from when we don't take accountability. We are not transparent in all areas of our lives, and it keeps piling on. It's been what 30 years now. How long can somebody take? Some people are not even living good before the Civil War.
Hmm.
But if you have to bring it back, I know some people would say, well, it stemmed from assassinating those men on the pole, which could be fact. But those men too, other people would say, other people look at them as their oppressors,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's deeper than, it's like an onion.
Hmm.
So they could say it was justifiable because they came from here as free slaves, and so the way they were so oppressed, you are what you know, right? Like they say, my
We
son
are. Yes.
always tell me, "Why are you yelling?" I'm
And
yelling because,
my kids do too, and it's annoying. Mommy, you're yelling. No, I'm not yelling. That's how I talk.
but you know what? You know what I thought? You know where it came from? I'm thinking that just one scenario. It comes from when our free slaves came back home. Where they came from, they were not even allowed to look a man in his face. They were not allowed to talk. They were on
Yes.
the farm picking cotton. They were
Yes.
calling them John, you little boy, and whatever. That was mostly the domestic help that were in Liberia were
Right.
John boy. Oh, you come here, man. You come here.
And
That's
they
where
didn't
it
call
came
you by your
from.
name, boy, girl. Yeah.
Why does the cage bird sing? Right?
Why does the cage bird stink? Maya Angelou. Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
So it has transcended. So people can say it started from there, way before 1847. Some people can say, for me, I would say maybe in recent history, where let's say everything's equal, but in recent history, right after the Civil War, when we had an interim president, what's his name? What the interim president? Amos Sawyer.
Emma Sawyer.
If we had implemented the TRC or some formulation of every problem will not be solved. But people would have had people would have had some consolation. People would have known that their voices were heard. They would be able to point to people that killed them, people that were found guilty. Maybe it would be time served if they are younger kids, and the adults obviously you would not be in government. So with that being said, Ellie Johnson will not be president, right?
Right.
And Prince Johnson will not be in the House.
No.
So, but and everybody else, because don't forget, one man's rebel is another man's freedom fighter.
Right.
But if
Yes.
everybody had gone on the public stage or the public tribunal and made their voice heard, maybe the international community would have look at us as serious minded country that are interested in nation building. So in recent time, that guy displaying in the market, that's where it came from. So if I was on the justice, I mean that's where it came from. The destitute, the people are desperate and they are fed up and they are crying.
Okay. So we're looking forward to Emmerich and Paul joining us. How you call it? There are though, but it seems like these people, the same people who were dancing yesterday for Miguel, he stole, looked at the nation, hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands of dollars, and were giving people 100 and 200 and 300 to vote for him. And they were saying, sanction, no sanction, we will vote for him. The very
Mhm.
people are busing one of their own who is maybe hungry. It says Yama, and then we're gonna go into that as a mother. And I take my responsibility very seriously. I buy food literally every week. If there's something else that they want, they go and get it. All right. My kids don't have to steal food. because the food in the refrigerator is for them, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And more. I work because of them. I have a responsibility to give them shelter. It did not say a mansion. I also have the responsibility, most of all, to provide solid education for them, okay? Not just academic, but also morality. Set the tune as to what proper behavior is. Oh, sis, Yama, a phone drop. Okay, so if some people have disorder that might steal, but if you have people making it their duty, and I hear people say this boy and their group always come and then and they steal people back. Where are the police? Cases, Illinois. So says Yama, I think I listened to some of it. It says
I'm
this
sorry I
very
went
group.
off. It's really
That's
windy here.
that's okay. This very group always come here and take people back. So this is where like where police are all over. Where is the police? Where is the law? That very place. Okay, I'm not sure if it was red light. Okay, a woman. Remember the woman who was molested, raped, broad daylight. People
Yeah.
taking their finger and shoving it inside of her vagina. Excuse me, my French. Okay, a VV. Okay, and beating her, naked her. Why people wash? But you see how hypocritical that is. You say he got sanctioned, he stole, he steal. We will still vote for him. But you murder your brothers and sisters? So not only do I condemn this, I am calling Gregory Coleman. You can't tell me the video is out there. Those people are visible. I can see them. All right. This is the age of AI. You can identify all of those children got cell phones and they are on it. They need to be arrayed. Those people need to be identified and they need to be prosecuted because Nyama, all you and I had to happen to us when we go to Liberia. Some of us will be all over in the marketplaces for somebody to say the person stole from me. And they don't ask questions.
Yeah.
That
Junk
could
of
have been
justice. Junk of
my
justice.
son. That could have been my niece. That could have been my nephew. That could have been one of my siblings. My little sister. Fiance was just murdered 2 months ago in cold blood. By the
Oh,
time I told you, by the time they got to me the next day, they said the police came, they set up jury, and they buried him the same night. I was so pissed off. But the picture my little sister took at the scene, they said tree fell on top of this man. It was what do you call it, an accident. But we found out later somebody said that he was either have crush on their wife or their girlfriend, or the girlfriend was going out with her, whatever. This man was gashed in the head, was cut in his face. So either the tree fell on his face or it fell on his back. The blood was everywhere. And this is why. And you want me to go take tens of thousands of dollars to come invest? You want me to leave the place where sometimes I can leave my door open and go, and I have a car park in the yard. I can build a house and nobody touches it, to come where I'm afraid to walk the streets?
yeah. That's hard. That's tough.
Okay, Sister Ma, go ahead.
That's that is just tough, isn't it? I don't. The only thing I can say, um, what can we do? How do we play catch up? I know you're talking about all those. I mean, Facebook people don't know something and starts new instead of us investigating or asking the very young people, can you make a research
Yes,
on this new thing? you are doing. Just last night in my living room, in my kitchen, with me and my son were arguing about radiation, and I said right after the holiday, we was like heating our food, and then he's like, "No, we have to do some." It was microwave versus being him, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Okay, this week you off. I'm off this week. You do your research. I'll do my research. May the best research win." And he's like,
Right.
"No, no, no, no. I want to do my vacation for that." But I said, "Well, then the microwave will go in the basement, and we use the skillet to warm because just the other day on Christmas dinner, you put the Christmas plate in the microwave and that plate wasn't microwavable and
Right.
the food got a little bit of radiation. So, and the young people, because they want something, I just told him that your voice matter. Do your research and tell me why I should compromise. Let's give me how much radiation is coming in the food. And then we'll go from there. I didn't just say, okay, even though I said it from the beginning, I'm going to pull my mom card because I own a kitchen. But I told him, go ahead and do your research. And he stayed at the table an hour later, writing sources on Google. So we have to, how do we play catch up fast? Because the rest of the world has left us behind. And that statistic that said we're the eighth poorest country in Africa.
In Africa.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, what does poorest mean? What's poor mean? So
Poor
maybe
means
when the other people come, they can tell us what poor means.
let me say to you that the last I checked, it's 3.5 million. Over 65% of your population can afford $2 a day to eat.
Can't do
Okay?
not. Okay.
Yes, it is. It is 300,000 and counting, maybe 400,000 to 500,000 young people who are addicted to drugs due to hopelessness. Okay, and the residual effect of the war. When leaders in a country with 500 million budget, okay, that Liberia does not even produce 300 million of it, that borrow the rest of the money, divide it among themselves. That a man who was just living a zinc shack next to you, or the one who was just begging Yama, myself, Peter, yesterday, okay, can go into government and is able to build a mansion. Is able to get a $65,000 car. In the world over with trillions of dollar budget, we don't give lawmaker cars. You go into that body, okay, because you have accomplished something, you got record, and you want to add your voice, you want to make a contribution to your country. That's what it is. That's what being poor in Liberia is. When women, mothers have to stand in line on Christmas Day. Nyama, will you try in line to somebody's house or to your lawmaker house? Or did you call your lawmaker on the holiday to give you money?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Then you have your family
No.
over at a dinner table. We saw your food. My own food, my place they set up.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what being poor is, when you go into bed, from the day you wake up in the morning, your 8 hours going to finding food. Finding
Okay.
food. 8 hours when you get to Liberia, everyone is in the street. When 8 hours of your day goes to just finding food, how many hours do you have to be productive
So,
to
yeah.
think straight, to think about the next day, and
Definitely.
work on your mind when you're going to bed, to wake up, what your children will eat the next day, even the kids, what they will eat the next day. When the nation is that destitute, that's what
That's
being poor
poor.
is.
So let me clarify that question was a leading question.
Thank you.
So I don't want people to think that, well, they can think what they want, but let me
No, no,
clarify.
we're having a conversation. We are going back and
Yeah.
forth. Yeah, you may say that you know the answer, but people are asking those questions. When
Thank
UN
you.
say, UN does not have to tell us we are poor. We know we are poor. When one person like me, okay, 1,000 or more people can come in my inbox, our man, business, empty. We don't know what we will eat, though.
So
Or
let
my
me look
child
at
needs
it
to go.
from,
Yes, that's what it is. Mhm.
okay. So let me be practical a little bit about it. So let's go by the statistics. So we are
Mhm.
eight. So that means we have seven other countries under us. So, like I gave my son the homework. I'm a natural teacher. And like I gave my son the homework, because we'll continue this topic another time. The 7 countries that's under Liberia, let's stack the data. Let's see which one of them um identify their poor and doing something to make it better. That way we can have a reference point and we don't, yes, it's good to criticize it, good. We have to talk about it so we don't get fed up
Yes,
with the guy in the market.
yes, yes,
Yeah, but we can all that guys also in the market or even empower the people to say, okay, country, I don't want to call a country name that on the list. This country is so and so is the fifth. And they were the fourth 10 years ago, but now they are the 13 or whatever. Or to keep it fair, let's only deal with the 8 countries that are the poorest in the nation, in Africa, and see what the other people are doing so we can be able to point to the lawmakers to say, these people they were poor, but one of their poorness is not the trash all over the darn city. How did they clean the city? Let your information minister or your foreign affairs minister call them and ask them. But we will call them too and find out. So that way we are complaining, but we giving our leaders legitimate avenues because they're pretending they don't know, or maybe they know, or maybe they really don't know. But that way we are all inclusive and we're all trying to solve the problem. What do
right.
you think about that?
I think so, but we can reference though, and I agree with
Yeah,
you.
just a reference so we can know
Yeah,
that other
Emmerich
people
is here.
getting out of it.
Let's go to Rwanda. Let's go because we're neck and neck. Let's go to Rwanda because we all went through the civil war. Okay,
Okay.
let's go to Rwanda neck and neck. Rwanda is a landlocked country. It's a dry land. They have no access. Let me tell you. Let me come back here in this country. When the people who settled on this land, they came through the sea route. The major means of transportation to this country that built wealth, which is called mercantilism, because they were taking raw product, carrying it, processing it, and bringing it back. That built this country, right? It was going through the sea route. We have sea, we got water. If you divide Liberia into 3 regions or even 5, there is river that connect every 3 counties in Liberia. The river that connects that run through every 3 counties in Liberia. Look at the St. John River. Go through the St. John River, tell you where it connects. Okay? Go through the Seso River and see where it connects. That's a means of transportation. We don't have to take the highway. Okay? We have a airspace that have been used before as a fueling station, as a logistically empowered and central, very good place for people to fuel their aircraft. That's Liberia was used at a fueling station during the World War II. It still is globally positioning at an advantage. Look at Rwanda is considered what today the tech giant of Africa. About 7 years ago, when Paul Kagame said, nobody bringing used goods to my country, people say, oh, America will not give Paul Kagame relief anymore. He said, we will not take dump from anybody. We will make our own clothes. People want us to buy clothes, they will build factory here. So I'm going to stop here. Emmerich, are you there?
I was on mute.
Okay. Welcome.
I
Welcome.
just said that yesterday, Sister Yasini. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
go
can
ahead.
we build factory and sew clothes? A lot of women know how to sew clothes.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. So I was just bringing us to that place. Our common example is somebody will say that's all the way out there. South Korea in 1969 or 1979 had a GDP of, I think it was 70 cents. Today it's 39,000. At least the last I checked, that was a year ago. When we in Japan were at the same, we were almost the richest in that particular area in our region.
and GDP is,
Yes, like real GDP, they say it's $700, but it can be
so
$700.
what's our GDP?
Okay, the gross domestic product, where we are able to produce and sell and what we get.
And when we get it, then each citizen can get what? How much?
Well, ask the leadership, they got it. And Emmerich is here. Emmerich, come on. Emmerich, come on. They got it. They're supposed to, I think I started the conversation with what the government is and what the
Yeah,
leader is supposed to do, how nations are built to some degree. I didn't go in depthly on that, the responsibility of a government,
exactly.
especially in democracy,
Yeah,
setting the tone, setting a society norm, okay, making sure laws are enforced, making sure a direct society. We
that's it.
talked about that, okay? So,
It's
where your
Emmerich.
brother is?
Emmerich, come on.
I'm ready to go. Where are you? You clock in, then you on mute. You're not get paid. Oh.
He's doing a flash mob.
Yes. No, this she's talking about growth about yeah, GDP, but GDP per capita,
The
okay?
capital.
Per capita is all things being equal. In Liberia, it's a $5 million country, okay? Where each person $500 million, where each person would get based on that. That's where they calculate it and say it's $700. Seven hundred
But look
dollars
at look at what
per
Peter wrote
person.
in the comment. He said that means the probability of a child growing up in Liberia being able to sustain himself and provide for himself after he becomes a successful adult is only at a 37%.
Correct. Is that Emmerich? Not Emmerich, Peter?
Repeating. It's only
Yes,
at
yes, yes,
37%.
yes. So
That's
so
that's it. That's below poverty. That not even below poverty. What's below poverty?
ma, that's discouraging.
That's
That
rough.
you're telling you out of every 10 child, okay, only three or three of them don't have child. So let's just say only three of them might make it. So that three might be like the one in the market today killing one another, or stealing, or looting,
So that's
or
seven. That's
lying.
7 versus 3, and the 3 they add the if out of how many countries in Africa. So every that is sad. That is sad.
So
And
let yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
say
no,
Emma.
no. Go ahead. Let Emma go ahead.
Peter want to call in. Peter, you can call in. Go ahead, call in. You have both the numbers. Call in and we'll bring Emmerich on because we want to graduate to but Yama, you didn't tell us your stand on what we saw today. I know you could not see it.
It
Maybe you could
was
speak to it.
graphic.
Yes, okay. But
Okay. Okay.
we need
My
there has to be a call to action.
yes.
So the police,
But the thing about it,
not just the
what
police,
identifying
the
what
executive.
identifying factors the police have? Do we have cameras in the market? No. Do we have reliable eyewitnesses? Do we have eyewitnesses that will step up and say the truth? Or will, but some people call it snitching. Do we have the parameters on why the person did this? So
Hold
I
on,
know that.
hold on,
So
Sister
how
Mom.
would even the police do the work? Even if they come there or
We
let's say
have
they
to,
keep that
we,
late, how are we gonna hold the perpetrator accountable? How?
says your mom, this is the digital age. We have digital footprints.
Oh, that's true. They were
We have
recording.
digital
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
footprints. Yes. Peter, welcome. Test your name and where you're calling from, sir.
Um, my name is Peter. I'm calling from the East Coast.
Okay.
So, thanks for taking my call. I don't want to say what I asked if you were kind of kidding me too.
You steady.
But so here's what I. First of all, thank you too for having this conversation tonight. So I wanted to just add my 2 cents because we're talking about Liberia, and when you're talking about people's family, my family, and our loved ones, people who truly care about, we need to understand that it becomes emotionally charged, right? Just like Sis Yama said, I didn't watch the video. I couldn't. I watched like 2 seconds, and I saw rock being thrown at the guy's chest, and I quickly flipped up. I'm not watching it. All right. I still haven't watched the George Floyd video.
Wow.
I don't plan on watching it.
Right.
Okay. Because because that's trauma. I don't want to introduce trauma to my system. And here's what people need to understand with trauma. Trauma is inherited.
Yep.
I'm going to say it again.
Yep.
Trauma can be passed on to your children.
Correct.
It's coded in your DNA. So we cannot absolve that. If you think about the war, the trauma that happened during the war,
yep.
even the trauma from slavery, couple
yep.
that with the trauma that happened during the war, couple that with the trauma that happened because of poverty, racism, oppression. My children have enough going against them, and my future children have enough going against them. I'm not adding any more to it. And just for my own mental health, I'm not watching that. I believe the question is, what do we do? What do we do now? Okay, and Yasendi, as I called you, you said something. There has to be a call to action. Okay, just like there was a call to action in Syria during the how is it called, Arab Springs. We need a call to action. Before that happens, we must elevate the conversation. We must elevate the conversation. If we're going to talk about, and I'm listening to you talk, Cindy, I'm listening to this Yama talk, and Emmerich going to come on. Just by people, you can, people dialect, identify what tribe they belong. And in this case, when I'm talking about tribe, I'm not talking about ethnic tribes.
Right.
I'm just talking about the social economic group that you belong to.
Mm-hmm.
All you guys, your accents tell me you're an exposed person who's been out of Liberia for a while. So am I. We are the last generation of Liberians. Our children are not Liberians as we are Liberians. If we don't elevate the conversation, who is going to do that? Here's what I mean when I say elevate the conversation. We must get our people to ask questions. When you ask where the lawmakers and why they're not, I'm going to ask why they're not reaching out for best practices in other countries. Why would they do that when merit is not how they were elected? And there's no threat to their existence at that position. They can buy motorcycles that cost $300. They can take corrupt money. They can have foreigners come and pay them kickbacks. Mm-hmm. And those foreigners, Chinese and Indians that are exploiting our country, can give them 20 bites, and that's good enough. And those people can take out billions out of our country in our natural resources because they're able to do that. When there is no accountability for the people who are stewards of our natural resources, this is what you get. Okay, so mob violence is okay because the people who are responsible to bring the people to justice have no accountability themselves.
Nope.
We must elevate the conversation. We must get our people asking real questions. Look at the person we have as a leader right now, as a president. I keep asking this, and I'm waiting for someone to answer. What is this economic worldview? What informs it? What's his job creation plan? What's his educational worldview? How does it feel about healthcare? Should it be a universal healthcare? Should it be single payer? What should happen? We haven't been electing people based on merit. So when you have a meritorious man come who has ran corporations, a person with ability and merit, you get to disqualify him by mob violence and just lie on him and say he's a homosexual.
Yeah.
And he's greedy for power because he's not one of them. And you get a Bush man saying he's not one of us, and we accept that we elect this thing as a leader, and then we wonder why people are throwing rocks at people for panhandling, for pickpocketing.
Hey, Mr. President, it's another thing. Let me correct you right there.
It's our responsibility to elevate the conversation. When people are to be elected, unless we start asking real questions like we are civilized human beings, that is what we saw today is going to continue. And it's our responsibility. Anything short of that, we are abdicating that responsibility. We are literally giving that up, which is cowardice. It's our job to start the drumbeat of holding the people that we elect and that vie for leadership accountable. We, the Liberian middle class, who sound like I do, with a soft Liberian accent, need to start elevating the conversation. You know why? Because the people who have done it in every other country were also expats. And that's our responsibility. Anything short of that, what you're doing is sinful. Sinful. Thank you so much. I just wanted to add my 2 cents. I'm gonna keep listening.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you. Emmerich, are you available now? Or you just there? Somebody write, when the leader of the nation acts in a self-interest manner, ignore the law, the rule of law, and demonstrate bad governance, it can have severe consequences for the nation, its people. Some potential outcome of such leadership include: one, corruption. Bad leadership may engage in corruption, embezzlement of funds, and misuse of state resources for personal gain, leading to economic instability and inequality. Two, erosion of institution, ignoring the rule of law and governing self-interest can. I'm not sure what else is under there, but yes, that was good. So, says Yama, Emmerich, if you're here or if something is wrong, I think you would take yourself off and come back. We want to talk about. So, Yama, I didn't get an opportunity to watch the Spoon interview yesterday
Okay.
On the what do you call it, the deputy or assistant minister interview. But if
This
you
is
feel
the deputy minister
deputy minister
interview.
interview. So let me first of all tell you that I was not impressed when my brother got for an interview. I thought he seemed defiant, he seemed arrogant, and and those who know me, Gafwa and Maya Dolo's sister, we speak it, we say as it is, even as my brother were in the government, I call him out, and he knows that. His wife is here, his daughter is here, I call them out. Um, but it seems really he built a wall. I don't know what the wall was. I don't know if you were trying to intimidate or you were trying to keep people off that I'm the minister,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't say nothing to me, or it was based on inefficiency. Or yeah, I don't know what it was, because normally when people build a wall, it's either to keep themselves in or to keep other people
Other
out.
people out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what the war was about, because somebody like me and people and Brother Gafwan, let me tell you something. One thing you must understand: when you were finance minister, we didn't have the proliferation of internet or social media. Liberians were not interconnected that we are today. When you were in power, when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf were in power, majority of us have just literally experienced the war. Liberia was not on our mind. uh,
No.
Self-care was on our mind. Self-development were on our minds. There is Emmerich. Okay. How do we, and some of us were just starting, because I already had children at 24. I was already married at 24. Taking care of my family, building myself up, finishing college, okay, building a career at the time, and trying to take care of my family in refugee home, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Guinea, Nigeria was my priority at that time. At this point, that this generation that came here as refugees, okay, who ran away from the war, as we age, as we have acquired, okay, status, education, and understand what patriotism does, okay, and ethics, okay, and we have vested interest, because some of us are dedicated the last 10 years investing in Liberia, educating, empowering. So you are at this point, you have to come with your A game, because every word you speak, there
They
are
recorded.
100 Liberians who are experienced in that field, be it
Yep.
an accounting, finance, business management, logistics, okay? It does not matter. Law, engineering, okay? Bioengineering, medicine, or anything for that matter. So every time you show up, you got to show up updated. You got to show up also humble, because most of us who live in America, we don't show and tell you I have a master's degree. Your master's degree show in your output, where you are able to produce your addition to the team. What do you bring to the table? How do you make the team better? Okay. So I was not impressed. Actually, I was very disappointed, and I'm gonna be upfront with you. I know your people will be here cussing, but it didn't seem like you have it. Emmerich, welcome.
Thank you, Yesenia.
Emma, go ahead and speak on it. Emma, you go ahead and speak on it. You watch it first. No, Yeah, you did first.
No, I will let you go. You were already on. Speak on it. Then I can follow. I can pick your brain for a little bit. I'm not as smart as you.
Don't forget now, I'm just learning these people name. I'm the girl that came in very late, but got fed up just 2 or 3 months ago. So
We,
anyway, so I watched part of. I mean, I
Nigeria
watched the interview.
Nigeria is ready for you, Sister Yuma. So don't worry about it. You're just coming in, but you're coming in with your A game and you're coming in informed. It is well. We'll get there. Go
Okay,
ahead. Mhm.
all right. So let me clarify. So the Kafwan, Minister Kafwan, the Kafwan guy you talk about, he used to be a minister in Ellington before, right?
He was finance minister before in Ellington. Yeah,
And
and he
he's
brought it
finance
back
minister now.
again. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Why are you laughing?
I'm very animated. So don't take offense. Okay, so
Well,
you're animated. Okay.
I just that way too. So you're okay.
We don't have a policy on animation. Animation. So you can be
Okay,
who
good.
you are.
So
Reverend
so
is
this
that way too.
so this guy, this Bill McKay Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So the MFD, I'm assuming the acronym is Minister of Finance and Defense
No, for administration, minister,
Administration.
deputy minister of
Oh, deputy,
education.
deputy
Yes,
minister.
deputy
So
minister for
chief
administration.
administration. So at first, when they were introducing him, he tried to be slick. He's like, I'm deputy minister, but I actually the janitor, deputy minister, whatever. So you're talking for serial country, then you saying you the janitor. Okay. Yeah, I'm in there too. All right, we'll still listen to what you have to say. So after he said that, they asked him, do you know these people? And he said, he asked another question, he couldn't answer it. Okay. So basically, uh, he didn't represent the ministry well. He didn't represent the procurement team well. He wasn't articulate. I don't know him. Maybe articulate not in the Queen's language. Don't get me wrong. It's just in his delivery
Delivery
of
or the
explaining
substance.
himself.
Yes.
Yeah,
Substance. Yes.
because it wasn't going A, B, C. It was going around the place. But equally so, I mean, it's like he was at the firing squad. Okay, there was no chance. The interviewer, one of the interviewers, would not, you know, I sensed that they probably knew each other personally before. Because if you're trying to get information from somebody, for it to be clear to a nation, what's all the attitude about on both ends? Why? So I just deduced it got some kind of history, just from the body language and the tune. But yeah, he didn't answer the questions. Well, maybe the policy at the finance ministry to give contract is not a detail oriented policy. And he didn't answer well. And I think the rest of the panel they were not well informed because it seemed to me that the moderator didn't give them all of the information. So if we are going to talk on a particular topic and you put the information on the screen at that same time, I would just keep quiet. So because obviously you got a beef or something to prove to this person and you keep me out of it because this is not a pop quiz time for your panelists. So I can guarantee if the other panelists listen to what I'm saying, be very objective. If they have all 3 pages on day one and tell your panelists, we will only talk about page 1 or 2 to throw as a bait, then we'll ask the right question. So I'm giving context to that because you are shortchanging. Yes, we're glad you're exposing, but who made you the protector of all of the information? And it's not your paperwork because somebody's sneaking and give it to you in your box. It's the Liberians people paperwork. So if you want to claim and if it's good for the goose, it's also good for the gander. So you can bring a deputy minister, disrespect him, don't give him a chance to talk. And you two deputy minister, you cannot give out contracts and can't even ask, say yes or no that you know your brother. So we all playing game with the Liberian people. The deputy minister, the fork and cup and spoon network, They're all playing game with the Liberian people, and the people are drowning. Look what happened today. They're taking bricks and slamming it on their own citizen head. So where are we going with this? And we're playing fun with the Liberian people. Why don't you publish that and say allegedly and put it on Facebook and put it in the newspaper in Liberia so we all can have an informed decision or informed opinion? I'll let you piggyback then, Emery. Emery, go ahead.
Thank you, Yama. Thank you, Cindy. In over 20 years of my experience in finance and accounting, especially on a team working with contracts, right? Bill, I listened to Bill. It was a complete disappointment. A complete disappointment. This is someone that I have had an encounter with, not knowing him like that. But I have my own way to not mess up my integrity. So it's not easy for me to get very close to a person until I know your background, until I know you in depth, until I know certain things about you professionally. My whole disappointment with Bill Jones on Spoon, the critical issue when people ask about relationship, that's the main thing that can cause a compromise in any deal, anything. And that can lead to corruption, that can lead to nepotism, that can lead to unlawful behavior. Okay, so when the questions were asked about his relationship and people that got awarded the contract, it was hard for Bill to have answered. It's a simple yes no question. Very simple. Bill could not have answered it already because he knew fully well what was going on. This is the point. The reason why I came on, but was on another call and I had to get off, put my camera off. I was having a conversation because I was doing my research. Raf, what makes it wrong? Raf, that guy wanted the contract. Raf is already in the government. He works as a deputy a managing director for LeTepco.
What?
But that's what I'm saying. This is me. I do my research.
Come back, Emre. Come back, Emre.
But Bill is talking. Bill, a finance guy. It makes it wrong to even award a contract to somebody who's already working in the government. Raf works with LeTepco as deputy or acting deputy managing director at LeTepco. Raf. So you see the problem, Bill. It was calculated. Look.
Emre, that's why he could not, because he was being disingenuous.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
He could not articulate that because he's
you know the reason why he was avoiding. Mm-hmm. He was talking about he was being distracting, talking about the work he was doing, good work for low money and so, to avoid the concrete issue, the fundamental issue, whether he knew people that guy wanted the contract, the bidding. Another thing, Raf, he works for the government. If you work for the government, you cannot participate. When you talk about economic growth, when you talk about spreading the wealth of the country, when you talk about improving the private sector, how can you already be in the government, working for the government, and you get awarded another contract from the government? And so that's corruption by itself. It should not happen.
It is.
It should not happen. Even my job, I can never ever have, if I have an independent contract, a company, like a contract, a company, I can never be part of the bidding process at my job.
No, you can't.
I can never ever. So you see, this is the reason why I was doing my research, and I just got on the phone. I got off the phone with somebody who's very close and said, Ralph works with the government. Ralph is with LeTepco. And I said, wow, now I see why Bill was being calculated to avoid the question, the yes or no. And Samuel Jackson, they are well informed. You may not like it, and I keep saying, you don't always beat the messenger. You look for the message, right? The message is good.
Yes.
When the message is good, that's what you run with. But in Liberia, this is what they do. They try to politicize the issue. They say, "Oh, who is he? Who is he to talk about these issues?"
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Who is he? Or who is her? Or who is she to speak on these issues when when her record or when his record is not good. That's not what I go by. I don't go by who's speaking. I go by the message, right? Once the message is within the confine of our legal system, once is about integrity, those are the things I pick on. I pick on the message. So Bill, if you look at Bill, the intent already, the couple of things that I wrote down, the intent that Bill was trying to avoid, being linked to the people, you could tell that initially the intent was not good. It was corrupt. That's corruption. Whether we like it or not, that's corruption. To award contract or bidding to your friends, let them win the bidding, and you act and you talk about the system was independent. Bill kept pressing on the system, being independent. I was away from the system. But before you sign on to anything as a deputy minister, first of all, you want to check the mark on relationships, because that's one thing that's so important. On who are those bidding for the contract? Before you even try to put the contract, before you even try to interview people, you want to know who are those bidding for the contracts. That's the first disclosure.
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
This Bill Mayer, he lived all his life in Liberia, or he have lived here in America or London?
He used to work too in the Ellen's government. The Ellen boys, they became
no, but did he ever live in the Western world?
He lived here for some time too, and he worked here.
Let me come here. Says your man, majority of them, when they find out the attack coming over, they usually get a visa, keep it in the pocket. So when their time is over, if they get a job, they stay. If they don't get a job, they come to America and they wait for the next government that will give them an opportunity. That's it. So they were here. Majority of them were here.
So he knows better. He knows how.
That's what I'm saying.
Better system. Okay, good.
But that's
then he knows better.
He knows better.
Now he got what he deserves. He got what he deserves.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why he was avoiding the issue of having him being linked to those guys. That's the reason. It was by design. Okay, he talked more about the process, but some of the things when we bidding, when we put out a contract, when we see all of the bidders, right? We want to find out if they have relationships with the people that actually going to spearhead the interview and all of those things. All right, with the whole process. In fact, we have different processes in place for bidding. The different processes, we want to see who are those building, if they have relationship with any one of those.
Okay, talk about relationship. Does Bill, do you know that if the moderator on our network got relationship or know him personally? Do they know each other?
Yeah, but you see the thing, Facebook is a place where your history, I don't care whether you delete it, there's a possibility, 100% possibility, they will find links coming out of there between you and somebody when you people have links.
So that means they know each other, because that experience was too personal in my opinion.
They've known each other for so long. They were at a point in time, they were even roommates, and so.
So I come from the layman point, so I just want to break it down. So the minister was minister before, and now he ministered now, and the person that brought the president in this thing, the moderator is the same moderator that all of them were together bringing this new government in. So now they all know each other, so they know what all people capable of, right? So now what's happening?
You see, the whistleblower, you cannot discount whistleblowers in our country. Whistleblowers are the most effective people in our country.
But who the whistleblowing to?
Yeah,
and what the person doing?
Because of dissatisfaction, right? Because of dissatisfaction, someone is dissatisfied and someone is doing something that's corrupt. You have someone who's very close to you whistleblowing you. That's
what I'm saying. Okay, let's stay on the road whistleblowing. So the people are dissatisfied because they're disrespecting them and giving the contract to their friends then. So the whistleblower to the cup network or the plates or the spoon or whatever network. So the whistleblower to that network. And instead of that network sharing the information to the whole panel so they can have a real good discussion, they weaponizing the information and and beating up the person where they already were friends before.
But we're making it complex. The point there, the fact that it's already known that the contract was illegal, it was corrupt, it lacked integrity, and so if they did not know about what's happening, the other panelists don't. If they don't know what's happening, they will be asking the critical questions or the fundamental question as to whether you know this person or you related to the person that won the bidding.
No, I beg to differ because if you bring me on this show, like you're sitting, give me the talking points for the night. Even if I don't know, I will run and go find a picture of the images so I can make something that makes sense. You can't always not get. It's like you got to deliver dead news. And you got
No,
to
but
get the dead news.
the fact is that the people are roommates. You can't take that fact away. So you're talking about something that the fact already exists. So what you're talking about?
No,
Is,
what? Okay, let me clarify. What are you saying? I agree with you. What the cities that I agree with you. I'm just delving in deeper because that network, majority of the country, like the minister said, that's what brought him on the network, on the show, because it goes on the radio all over, and his integrity in his mind was being questioned and was being denigrated. So that's what made him come on the show because he wanted to protect his reputation. My thing is, you cannot play spider, and I'm talking for the panelists. Because if half of the country, so that means 2 million people are watching you, and some of them whistle blow to you. If you have respect for your panelists, to have the information to really ask educated question, informed question. So we're not. There's not a TV show in where we making a
but
movie.
we can surmise that they did not have the information because the questions they
No,
asked.
no, I didn't surmise. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
no,
He
but
said.
the question
He
they
said,
asked.
I will not put it in the chat room yet. He said it. I
No,
watched
but the
this
question, the
show.
point there, they have their minds of their own to discern. They are professional people to discern. The questions they asked were valid questions that
It
they did
was.
not. Yeah,
It was.
valid
But I'm just
questions.
saying, because they're professional people and they're
Right.
smart people, they would have even asked more deeper questions. They would have done, you don't know who, they would have done more research. I don't want the Liberian people business to be weaponized from all sides.
Yeah,
Not the not
I
the leader,
understand.
not the whistleblower, and not the person that getting the information. It's wrong. And we need to do better.
Yeah, but I understand that's a valid point to you giving, but it will still not take away the fact that he had a pre-existing a relationship before
Oh,
he
he
came
does.
out of the
Well, we
country.
knew your body language, you were
Okay,
lying. We knew.
so that's one fact. For me, I dwell on the facts, right? So I stick to the facts. The facts there. One, you can't have someone who is already in the government and you award a contract to that person too. That's corruption.
You see, so you just knew just now. The panelists, nobody knew that. But if they already had the information, they were calling their sources to inquire. Now it's breaking news on this too.
So Yama, I think what Emmerich is saying and what I would add my voice to is they already knew.
Oh, they already knew. Okay.
Yeah, I believe you already knew.
I
believe you
believe
already
it
knew.
because Stanton do some extensive and he does not do extensive research. People gave him information.
They gave it to him. Thank
They
you.
gave him information because I remember there was a lady the other day, and I know it's a little sister who were applying for job literally on Facebook, and she was supposed to come on Spoon. Before the time she's supposed to come, the people flooded that man with information, the role she played, how she was in alien government, who she worked with, what happened during her tenure, how much money got missing, where she built, and all of that were provided. I know that.
No,
So
it's so easy to get anything tangible in Liberia once you get a little money. It's so
yes,
easy.
Okay. That's where we're coming to next. I was
Yeah, it's so
asking that
easy.
to ruffle your feathers to come here. Now let me talk to the Liberian people.
Tell
Liberian
me.
people, when you get information in, the people then what been talking for you. People rape, people die, like their boss lady sitting now right here.
she coming
Now
again.
because no, I'm talking to you. The woman hasn't changed her advocacy. Yeah, sometimes she hear me once in a while, she get tired talking about certain things.
Oh yeah.
Now, so I finished beating on the minister, I beat on the spoon talk moderator. Now I'm coming for you. In the panelists there, I talk for them a little bit too because they didn't get all the information. Now you're the Liberian people. I don't know how much they're giving you. But in order to have dignity in labor, in your own self, to not bark the people, what that Jeffrey Archer book, honor among thieves. There's
There's
no
no
honor
honor.
among team player. I'm saying this to say the person that giving your money, they may or may talk or may not talk for you. The person that already have the track record, even the person that don't have a track record yet, getting them some of the other information. You got SKTV, you got your Senate show, you have the closing argument, your senator, everybody. When plenty of people talking for y'all, it will pass wherever $200 they're giving you. Trust me. If you get 3 paper, say page 1 to the other person, page 2 to the other person, page 3 to the other network. Even when you sell it, you don't think you'll get more money that way. But you'll get 3 different networks talking for you. You're like great people. He's not the only one that can get all the documents because he weaponized it yesterday. He couldn't get a chance to talk. And he made a panelist with it, and they shot you too. So you either not $20, I was just say $20. I just cut my head. You either not $20, $10 they gave you to be looking for document. Give it to the other people too that have been talking to you. So more people can talk for you so we can fix the problem quicker. That's why we're getting the panelists asking all those questions.
Right. So let me move on, right? So there are processes in place when you have bidding. First of all, we have what we call full disclosure form. The full disclosure is to show for all of those that bid on the contract and all of the different interviewers for who's going to win the bid. We have to know the names of all of those companies. Who are those heading the companies to see whether they have had or they have prior relationship or they have relationships with some of those interviewers. That's the first thing we do. When we do that, it helps the process, right? Because you have to recuse yourself from the process. Bill, when they talk about the process, but we know in Liberia the system is not functional, it's not working properly. You can even say you recuse yourself from the process, right? But you can still have influence on who is to win the bidding. And we know it for a fact. So Bill wasn't talking to stupid people. All right. Bill sat down. If you look at his posture, his language, Bill was being already defensive about the project. I mean the process first. That's the first thing. As an independent person, when you speak, you want to talk about your process and you leave it as that for the audience to make a judgment. But instead, he was really defensive about how good the process is. And so Uno found out he cannot answer the question as to whether he got a relationship with any one of those that won the bidding. So you see what's happening, right? So we have a process. We have to know, first of all, if there's relationship between the bidder and the person who's administering the bid. That's the first thing. Any way along the line. The second thing, when you do that, then you identify the conflict of interest, right? You're going to identify conflict of interest there, and you know how to mitigate that. Bill did not talk on those things. They talk about the recusal. Bill did not even talk about recusal. But you sitting and you're not being part of a process, it does not mean you did not recuse yourself. Okay, because when you sign in, you're not recusing yourself if you sign. If you're somebody who's supposed to decide and put your signature, affix your signature onto something, you're not recusing yourself from the process. You're part of the process.
He's saying representative.
No, but yeah, but how Bill can be the one he said after it passes all of the different stages, right? It comes to he's the one who's going to sign on it. But then how do you sign on to something when you see that somebody who was your roommate, somebody who works in the government, and all of those things, they ask you the critical question, the fundamental question, whether he knew all the names. He said, I don't look for names. Then you are incompetent, Bill. Yeah,
he does not look for names.
He does not look for names.
How then does he identify and research
because
and if this person qualifies and how does he match them?
Right. It's part of the interviewing stage. Even you have a company, you still have
to. No, you say you're not there. You say representative.
Yeah, but even if you have to know the names of people that got interviewed from that company. It will still reach you because it's a whole part of the whole documentary aspect, right? It's a whole part of the documentary aspect. They're going to send you the list of people to talk to and all of those things. And you will see the list before you sign onto something. You will see the list of people that got interviewed that your team said they want the bid. You're going to see the name. And, first of all, another thing Bill did not talk about, the regulations, right? The policies in place. When they talk about the LCC, I think LCCC something and so. But he did not touch on those issues, specific politics that are going to impact the way he's supposed to sign on to something and so. So when I look at Bill, his body language, his responses to all of the different questions, the detailed questions, the most important questions, Bill is a liar. Bill is a liar. Bill is highly incompetent.
The way it is, though.
No, Bill is a liar. Bill is highly incompetent. These are the people that are acting as if they have the level of qualification and understanding of the issue. That's the reason why we cannot change things in our country, because we have people that will come and work in these areas in America for, they will not even have supervisory level. They will not even have managerial level and nothing. They perpetuate a different personality to our people to make our people think that they qualify. And that's the reason why they say a lot of young people still being hired, but the country cannot move forward, because these young people that are being hired, that are making the transition back, they have not had any managerial level over. They have not managed anybody. They have not managed anything. They were not decision makers. In this place, most of your decision maker, I will tell you this, right? For a fact, you can sit and look at a process and know how to fine tune a process and know how to streamline a process and know what's good for the country and be able to make decisions based on results. But you see, the failures of a lot of the people that leave from here is because they were never ever placed. When you do a background check on most of them, they were never decision makers. They were not people that were in places where they should sit and make decisions, people to listen to them and say we respect their views because we have a history, we have the background check that they have occupied these positions before, they have the experience, they have the education, most of those things. And that's my take on it.
Oh, but then you had a talking.
No. I heard Emmerich, and I'm on board with him. I'm in total agreement. One of the reasons, we Emmerich and I have come a long way. Me and Emmerich not far before, and I almost ran down with my car. Yes.
Oh, you joking.
But we get more from behind each other. You understand what make me tick. I know when it's time to get off the phone or to get out of his
way. I tell you, he was a funny guy, but
no. He gets.
But you're hot right now.
Please, yes.
So let me ask another critical question. Again, I don't know what is historical. So the process for procurement during Ellington, because I said the state minister there, right? Did the process change? I would be curious to know.
So, Yama, I wanted to bring something in. That's a great question, and maybe Emma can answer that. And I will add my voice, but I will come in somewhere when I make the joke that I almost ran him down my car. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm just joking. We fought, but not to that extent. I want him to stay alive for a very long time so we can be fighting and be joyous at the same time. But you see why when people get to Liberia and they don't want anyone that will change the system, because majority of the people who go, and you see why the fight to keep those who would be a help to change the system and keep them out. Because majority of them, when they come back, they're the law in the gospel. Everybody worship them, or they make more money than they will otherwise make in other countries where other people are more competitive. The everyday Liberian who live in the diaspora, who is well qualified, who have gotten to a certain stage, certain level in their life, they will not tolerate, you will not see them worshiping people on Facebook trying to defend this and different. We look around, people that we advocated with, people that we amplify, people that we work with. And what maybe in the last government working and we're bragging on Facebook how they're opening businesses or their manager here, they're this and that. And then they get to Liberia, they get this position, and then they close the door. Instead of, if you, and I'm going to bring this, and this person, I'm going to talk about them personally. There's a guy who have been in this country, called himself supposed to be all this educated, could not find money and job in America. Now is in a position in Liberia. And literally harassing other people and say, oh, you're qualified, you got the education, but you don't have the experience. How is a college graduate supposed to get an experience? You experience. Is it not your job to bring them to that place?
Thank you.
To learn from you? Yama, when the nurses graduate, you didn't come on your floor. Don't they have nurse mentor?
Yeah, we call
That
them
is,
preceptor. Yeah, we have to precept
yes.
the younger ones. Yeah.
Even on my job, when I first started teaching, I had a mentor teacher, okay, who is a go-to person, who even if they see me going contrary to where it's required, although through the reading, but practical is more important. They will come and say, Miss Martin, this is how we do it. When school starts, this is where you set the tune. You don't start nice. In the end, you're going to have a bad year. You start strong. Make sure your children understand your rules and make sure
Mhm.
you're consistent. And that's how they're going to buy in because these children are looking for people to direct them, to nurture them.
Thank you.
It would seem like they don't like rules, but they do because it gives them structure. That my job now as an older teacher, that new people come in to tell them what to follow, what are the rules until their season, not to condemn them, not to look down on them, okay, or not say you don't belong here. They have the requisite education, they need the protocol. That's your job. So that's why, because we keep recycling. Most of those people were in the last government and they failed miserably. Okay. During the Ellen Johnson Salita, I'm sorry. Love her. She's a strong woman. Okay. Also, don't like her because she interrupted my life at the same time. Yeah. So it's for me, it's a bittersweet. For a woman to have a nerve, okay, that's good. But to have enough to the place that you are heartless. And maybe I'm going far over there. That's a different place. It's different time. Liberia doing Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's second term was the real building time. Okay,
Yeah, because we
they
had
did
a lot of
not
money coming
rebuild.
in.
They did not put structure in place. They introduced this exorbitant salary. They
Thank
introduced this stealing that they call bribery. They introduced under Taylor. Taylor were unsanctioned. Liberia could still find food to eat. Honor Taylor, I'm not saying I like Taylor per se, right? But the lawmaker were making 1,000, 1,500. Okay? No
it was
one
a
were allowed to
distraction
get a
ploy. I think
card.
it was a
No
ploy to
one were
distract
allowed to
people.
get a card at certain rate. And the cards were for 5 years, the duration of your term, not 2 years in a country with literally 60+% of your population hungry and your children are stealing, your school are closed. Only the who amongst who can afford quality education. That lawmakers are building schools, that school is for sale. So I'm going to stop here. I know I went out, but such a matter, what I wanted to tell you, the very people that are there today, they just open the door small for a few, and then the
Uh,
Peter said they are all in it together. I mean, here.
you know,
Go ahead,
that is
Amy.
that is totally heartbreaking because with those salaries to jump high, that I just you can be so smart that you're stupid. So I don't believe that somebody that work at World Bank, Harvard, or Patriot, I mean, or claim to be a Patriot or whatever,
They're
like you
not.
said, you got a nerve and whatever. To create that, it's a distraction. It's like how to say, one monkey went in the room and there was a banana there up on the ladder. He tried to climb the ladder and it's spraying with water. He got down. The second one came, he didn't ask. He went up. They're spraying with water. The third one, they did the same thing. By the time the fourth and the fifth monkey came in the room, they didn't even bother going there because they say, oh, they're all hungry. And banana up there, and the other 3 or 4 people from me, you go there. They didn't bother. So you bring 100 monkey and you put 100 banana up there.
Banana, yeah.
Ain't nobody going up the ladder. They might die hungry. And that's what the desperation is. And then when you come and you say you're gonna rescue, you see how my son used to do and swimming when you're learning how the what you call the lifeguards. They tell you, you don't just jump in if you don't know how to swim because there's a certain
Right,
way you have to rescue them
right,
because they will grab and you're not careful. Oh, they will die there and everything. So that's it. That's the oppression. So you're so hungry you forget to go, and then the people, the puppet master that are controlling that, you're gonna give hungry men that spent almost 10 years I know between Sawyer and Taylor Howland was there before she got there. Somebody make it 1,000 and you give them 15,000. What do you think gonna happen? It's like people are already like red bottom. They got one red bottom shoe, and then you open the store and you tell them to grab, don't you think they would think that they're a big time girl? Oh, I got 50 red bottom shoe when she had one for 5 years. All of a
Yep.
sudden she got 20. So
Yep.
they were thinking bolding. So that was her plot, if he asks me. From the outside, I call myself from the outside looking in, just trying to find different scenarios. So it was intentional. Let's give these poor people exorbitant amount of money, and
Yep.
then what economic crime could do? They were being emboldened. Yeah,
Anything we tell them what they are going to do.
I think
I
I
know.
can.
We just sit back and look. We just sit back and look.
No, I think I can have my take on that aspect. I will say this. We have had different transitions in our country, right? We needed to build capacity, and I
Yep.
understand with the population, the lowest, not even having $1 to feed themselves a day, to pay somebody that. But at the same time, too, we should look at it this way. There's
Mhm.
absolutely nothing wrong with helping to build capacity. And the point sometimes too, you can induce the minds of people transitioning to library to help the professional ones. The
Yeah.
only
But
thing
Emery, let me interrupt a little bit. Okay.
now, I know, but okay, go ahead. But I will come in because I
Let
don't
me
want to
just
forget my
interrupt.
point. Yeah.
That they say induce is usually temporary, and there's a time line.
Yeah, that's why I was getting to.
Go
No,
ahead.
you're right. You're right. You're right about it. And
Mhm.
if you look at it at that time, even the government was not shouldering that responsibility. It was people that actually know NGOs and other partners.
Oh, okay.
They were
Foreman.
footing the
Yeah.
bill, not the government. They were footing the bill because they
Yes.
needed for us to build our capacity. So they said we'll shoulder it to encourage people going back home, people who abandon everything and go back home to help. But the point there,
Oh, okay. I get it now.
it did not yield the result, right? Because the aim was to build capacity in our country. It did not happen. The
So
reason
why
why
can't we go back?
the reason why it did not happen
No, I
because
said, why can't we go back to the didn't build capacity? Then won't get slice everything and start from scratch.
no, that's what I'm saying. We can go back based on the government has to play a major role in building that environment too for people to transition back home. You can't say people will go back home and face the harsh realities if you don't, as a government, be able to do something to encourage them to go back home. This is the role of the government to create some semblance of good life, good environment, and those things. And those things are things that we can just speak. Those are actionable things, right? But what's happening? Our government, they don't know how to attract whether we like it or not, it's a fact. Our diaspora community, they were I would say the third class citizen or the middle class citizens. They're where we see the middle class people. We can tap into that. We haven't done a good job because the people we have in leadership don't even understand how to build a middle class society. To build a middle class society is something that has to do with people got to do, look, urban development is something that people got expertise in. How to build a middle class society. If people got expertise in it, that's not my area. But we got people that can look at whole Moravia and see how to reorganize Moravia and see how to bring what type of attraction to bring in Moravia. All of those
My
things.
husband can do that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They got people with the expertise. The
He
point
done
is,
that for 34 years.
so if we don't tap into those people, we don't tap into the skills of those people, we don't tap into psychologists coming, you'll see the amount of violence we see in Liberia. If we don't tap into to redirecting the minds of our people, right? These things will always happen. All right. So we keep saying we are always proceeding the wrong way, and we think we're going to get it by bringing in somebody who been part of the bad system, right? Somebody who
Friends and family.
not had any level of success in his personal, professional life before.
Mhm.
We think that by the stroke of putting somebody who's popular in there, going to change everything by the stroke of putting somebody who got charisma. You need charisma as a leader, but charisma only does not cut it. All right. You need a person who has the experience, who has the education, who has the track record, then tested before and those things in any competitive system to be able to thrive. We see all these things. What is it going to do for us if we pick somebody who is not like people we have picked for the past 20, 30 years? What is it going to do? That's the question. We are already down. So what is it going to do if we pick someone with a personality who is so different from the people with charisma, with huge body or with loud mouth that have done nothing, absolutely nothing in their personal life, professional life, and so what is it going to do? Nothing is going to do. So I keep saying that we are our own problems, right? In as much as our people, when it comes to poverty, it's true. Poverty breeds, these things. But then at the same time, too, we should hold ourselves responsible because there are people on independent platforms, people talking directly to us that we can tap into, even if we don't. But let's listen to them, what they have to say. The moment you give someone a chance to be listened to, right? That's how change starts. That's how it starts, by listening to someone who over the time, over 10, 15 years, that you've been against that person, but things have not worked out for you. But let me give that person a chance to hear something different. That's the beginning of change. When I sit and say, I've always listened to people like me. I don't like to listen to people like me. I don't like to listen to people that get along with me. I don't like to always do it. The reason why I don't like to always do it, when you guys think alike, it's not a good thing in any system. When you guys always think alike, it's not a good thing. It's good to be competitive. It's good to have different views, because different views can bring out the best out of people. It brings results to see your ideas and my ideas, which one can work. That's all I want. If your idea work,
well, you're gonna get it from me right now. So I respectfully disagree. You say, where do we go? We got to pick someone. You know what the saying goes. So I disagree. So you're gonna get what you like right now, right this minute. You say you get to peak for change. I say we don't have that luxury in me and you game. My take is you get what you get, or you get what you already got, and you don't get to complain about it. You only get to change it. So let me qualify that. So we already got this government for the next 1 year to 5 years.
No, 6 years.
Well, 1 year gone.
All right.
So we already got it. We already got it for 5 years right now. So that's what we got, and we cannot complain about it. So we don't get to peak yet. We'll talk that talk later, or we'll keep adding, speak somebody better and this one later, or in the midst of. But the immediate solution, how can we catch up or give real sustainable change, quick and fast, easy ones? Like you're doing a difficult test. What are the easy questions that you can answer quickly so you can spend a lot of time on the hard one, and at the end of the test, when it says dun 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 dun, you figure that you have 5 more questions there that could have been really easy. So, what are the easy facts that we can help this government that we already got, and we cannot complain, but you got what you got? So, what can we suggest and put this platform behind to get to answer 2 or 3 easy questions?
But I think this is the point, right? I think our politics, we have to understand our politics. Our politics been tribalized, been nepotistic, and those things. Those things, I will tell you this: if you don't infuse our society, if you don't infuse our culture, our country massively with education, we're gonna have mindsets that are not objective and independent, and that's a fact. We're gonna have controlled mindset. It's only going to be based on tribal relationship and nepotistic relationship and all of those things, because that's how over time, that's how our system then the fabric of our system been destroyed. To think that if you align yourself with somebody who's from your tribe or who's your friend or somebody you know, that's the only way your life can be better. On the other side, we have not seen a system that works for the better good of the country in terms of working hard, what people can get rewarded based on hard work, based on education, based on those things. We have not seen it. Those things have not worked, because we look at our leadership, right? The level of incompetence we're seeing today, what we suffer from, we're seeing that people think that it's okay to leave from being an architect to being an engineer and become a politician. Because in our system, being an architect, being an engineer, being a medical doctor had not worked. Even those that like Peter Coleman and so that were medical doctors, and so they had to leave it to join politics, right? We need to open different fronts in our country where people can be comfortable being an English teacher or being a science teacher and still make money, and still have a good living wage. We have not done good in those areas. And I keep saying it boils down to the leadership of our country. We have picked a lot of leaderships that don't understand how to build capacity to build a country, how to build those things. So once
One of your easy question is fuse education.
excuse me.
You said one of your easy questions to fuse the education. I asked a question. I said
Yeah, I
three
think
quick questions.
to build capacity, it can be informal education, it can be formal education, so many different ways because not everybody can go to school and get a bachelor degree, right? But you
Yeah.
can still be effective and use people that are unskilled and give them some informal education. It's still possible too. That is to say, some of the jobs you see with mental steel, with some of those places that you don't need an academician to be able to occupy those positions, that you have to see BWR, VTC, those places were places that the country relied heavily on during those days to fill the job market back then. Well, we have not seen, an improvement on that. In fact, we have deteriorated when it comes to that.
So how do we move forward?
So we move forward by I keep saying, put resources into those areas and revamp, resuscitate those areas that are going to give people the skill sets they need. When you talk about investment, you talk about investors coming in, but most of the things that are happening, like investors coming in, they're bringing people from Ghana, Nigeria, and other places to do those jobs, right? The reason why, because our country, we have not put money into building capacity in those areas, and that's one of the reasons why we suffer. We see Liberians are lingering around. We have not built our capacity. We have not done it. We have not done well in those areas. Because if you look at the budget tells you exactly what's going to happen in 10 years. The budget tells you exactly what's going to happen in 5 years. The budget tells you. If you look at your budget and see that education is nothing. If your budget
80% reoccurrence.
Yeah, if your budget tells you that sports, nothing, you expect Lone Star to be productive, the soccer team to be productive. No, you don't expect it. So most of the things that we do, the intentions we see is by design. We don't put resources into those things. You say you want to be the bread basket, you want to be into agriculture. We talk about our soil. We have good soil, we have rich soil. But if you look at your budget for agriculture, it's nothing, relatively nothing.
So how do we? So that means we can fix the problem. Okay. So how do we empower the people?
No, the problem because we have not picked a leadership that will understand it, and I keep saying it. Our problem boils down to the leadership. Whether we like it or not, that's a fact. It's the leadership, whether we like it or not. It's not the people. Change comes from the top, from the leadership. If you have a leader who does not break the rules, if you have a leader who has integrity, and so our people are easy to learn. They will say, you know what they will say? If my pa ain't all around, all over boy children, all over the place, it helps you too. I will tell you the mindset. It helps you too as a child. If you say, my pa is a person who goes to work, he wakes up every morning, he goes to work, he works hard, and so it helps you in the home. Those are the things we pick up from. Those are the things in the home. It starts with the family.
Thank you.
It's broken down. Once we start to rebuild the family, and so we can have structures to support the family, then we're going to have a better Liberia. When I say resources into education, some of the children will have to go out to be able to take care of themselves because their parents cannot even take care of them.
So, Emery, let me get Yesenia. Yesenia, what do you think? What are some of the quick, easy, or you side with Emery as well?
So let me give, and I keep giving this the last budget before this one that they just illegally passed, 90% of the money was going to recurring expenditure, payroll, and whatever it has been. This one, they say about 85%. I think it's inflated, number one, where they're going to get $8 billion from. They have not told us where they're going to get about borrow, which is just the same thing, doing the same thing over and over and anticipating new result. And I'm going to bring in your country. When America suffered deeply in the 20s, where people were standing in line to eat, what the president put together was a recovery plan. We saw that in 2007 with Obama, recovery plan. We saw that with what's his name, Biden, Build It Back Better, okay? And he created over 60 million jobs Okay. So how would they do it in the 20s? They do it in the 20s, but because they didn't have most American sophisticated training. So they begin to build. That's how the Hoover then was built. It put America back to work with their hands. In Germany, after World War II, after Hitler would have bombed all of that environment, even Italy, what did they use? Plumber. You need plumbers. That's that's hands-on training. That's maybe 6 months. Okay. You need a people who will do wiring. You need a machinery. You need a carpenters. All right. That's what Liberia needs. Liberia need to train, invest in the human capital, short-term training, what do you call it, low-skill job, okay, and leadership start from the top, development start from the bottom. The leader have to be intentional. Emery said, all right, because while you think during the corona, you and I were getting money for our children because that money was going to be used to infuse in the economy, to keep the businesses running, to keep the America working. Why do you think the government gave money to American businesses? Why do you think America has a law that they got small business loan? They got it for women to empower. Okay, they got it for American. If you have business, you can't just take certain amount of money out of the country. Liberia have to prioritize Liberia, and we have to find like Saudi Arabia when it was being built. They said certain amount of money to bring experts. That's it. For instance, you want to restructure finance, you got somebody that Emery who have worked for charity. Because in business we have non-for-profit, we got private, non-for-profit, and you have government. Okay, especially if you go and study business, those three segments have to be inclusive. Under that falls logistics, for ethics, interstate laws, because for Emirates to be able to do his job properly, he must understand the law of the land. He's not going to say knowing the law is not an excuse, or not knowing it. It's not an excuse. You must know it as a manager. Okay. And all of you who have gone and done a graduate degree, even in nursing, and you're going to be managing, you are anticipated that you will know the laws. You will learn that, and you will learn to manage, and you have to learn strategy or strategic approach, how to develop things. All right. So this government have to put and looking at the budget. Education is not our priority. Even training. Education is the most expensive thing in Liberia. During Taylor time, there was no graduation all that years. And every government that have come after, the target have been always the public schools, where my auntie and my uncle and my nephew and nieces go. Because we being government, we are not being able to become millionaires. But then they build these schools. But I will stop here. So I agree with Emery. I just wanted to add and bring in other nations that have done it, have they done it from the rebel to we can, and you came up and say, why don't we start again? That's how we start again. We gave people like Yama, who is a nurse practitioner, Emery, who is an accountant and a certified
I'm
woman.
not a nurse practitioner.
Oh, okay.
I sell Kobo for a living.
I'm a poo plant too.
I sell Kobo.
You won't leave me alone. I'm not even going there with you.
I'm not a nurse practitioner. I'm a
Okay.
layman.
Okay.
I like it with her.
My point is,
Modest.
that's my closing statement. I start being interrupting the both of you.
I sell food for a living. Feasible cuisine coming soon near you.
Says your mom. You know how old, right? I will lose my train of thought like yeah in a second.
I'm sorry. You go. You were money last night. I'm talking about young teenager. I don't even go there with us.
So for us to do that, number one, there have to be a short-term plan, and there must be a long-term. The short term can be the next 60 months. We want to get, like the other day, it was so deceptive when they said we're training children in computer science technology. 1 week of learning word don't give you jobs. They're merely typing. But you tell these children, that's misleading. Okay, Then after you teach them how to work on computers for 1 week, that would be like some sort of intro, not even anywhere. You come back, you take away the data. Like if you go to Nigeria, you go to Ghana, you got some of the children that can find job creating content. That's how they're getting paid. Everybody getting involved. That's automatic job creation that you, Liberian government, have not created. At this point, we're going to be saying you will take $35 a month. You will have unlimited data. You will open the market. You will have competitions.
Dignity in labor.
Okay, yes. You will have, if you give monopoly to a Lebanese to bring what I call it, Henneke to the country and it's too expensive. If the people in Ganta can cross right, they don't have to come to Monrovia and buy their Henneke and come to Ganta and to Putu and sell it cheaper, then and give money. Don't open the market, regulate the market, let the market, the supply and demand, or the demand create the market and open the market. You can be in a small country, then only the foreigners can access to ordering beer, ordering sardine, ordering rice, ordering this. If you look at the face of the people who order rice in our country, they're foreigners. You know who their partners are? The government officials. Since I was a child, I remember on Saturday, when government officials go from or send their people from Lebanese store to Lebanese store, okay, to collect, there's something undercover. Those very people, the moment they leave their position, those people don't know them again. And who gets to pay? The poor people.
The poor people.
It's embedded in the price. Okay. So
It's so sad.
Yeah, this is how we change Liberia. I know my sister said we'll talk and we're tired. I am talking because I'm talking for my people. If I'm tired, I will climb up in my bed and I will go to bed. Okay. And my kids will be in a room. I got up this morning. I said, I don't want to eat rice today. I cooked what I wanted to eat, whether it was 2, 3, I call it breakfast. That's me. And that's what we're hoping for Liberia. That's what we're saying. We're looking for solution. Okay. Yes, we can do something about this government if they don't deliver. We can get Liberian, get in the street and say either deliver or leave. We've done that before. We can do it again. So nothing is guaranteed. It's democracy. Our constitution says we the people, and they say if you don't do what is right by us, okay, and we feel that we're not enjoying, we can ask you to leave. But that's my closing session, man. Emery, baby, Emery can come and you can close, and so we can go to our family, man. Great show, great show. And Yaman, before you come here, I wanted to show you something. You were asking how Gregory Coleman would know. The people on the internet, I told you this is digital, they already identified the young man.
Oh,
they
wow.
Know where he lives. They already know what happened. They're linking. The police ain't got to do nothing. Where is Gregory Coleman? What today? And our Bwaka daughter today, God forbid. And that were a vice president child today. If that were minister daughter today, and our minister girlfriend today, the police would have spoken. Why?
That's okay.
Nobody has spoken.
They know the reason why. You want Emery to close, or you want me to close?
Let Emery close, then you be the last one will go.
Yeah, okay. You see, one of my friends, he actually posted something on, respect to that whole mob violence in Monrovia, and I have my own take on it. Apart from that, with our law, when we have a country where you say, this is the reason why I always put on the leader, the executive, they execute, right? But you see, I remember 1989 when one of my friends, we went out of the club from campus. We went out and he got drunk. He left us. He got drunk and he went in the wrong area. I think 14 Road in Kakata, and I think we're around between 4 a.m. The whole community thought that because they have not seen him, they thought that he was a criminal. So they put the whole chase behind him, roll. And my friend, I won't call his name. He's right in Philly right now. He got jumped on. Some of the relatives that are in the armed forces of Liberia, the AFL, they call them and they came, they beat on him. They beat on him. They beat on him. They beat on him. This is a guy who I've I've known over time, never ever to take. No, you see, are you talking? I think you muted.
I said, what year was this? So yeah, what year was this?
1989. Yeah.
So literally, we are only seeing it because of social media.
Because social media.
Yes.
So my
Yep.
friend got jumped on. The whole community, 14 row, everybody row. And they called their families that were in the armed forces of Liberia, and the guys got on him and tortured him, and they left him in the police cell in Kakata. So when we got the information, what happened? He had left that night. We were in the club and he left and went about. He got drunk. The fact that he got drunk, nobody amongst the group to even think that. But we're seeing this guy. First of all, there's no report of any break-in. We did not catch him breaking anyone's home. He's intoxicated. I think we're supposed to protect him more. And if I see someone is intoxicated, I will try to protect you more, unless you kind of like harmful. And then maybe I can call the law enforcement officer. They put people in jail here. Police will put you in jail when you're intoxicated because they don't want you to pose harm to themselves and to the public. That's the reason why the police will take you until you can get sober, right? Then they issue the citation and so. But that wasn't the case in Liberia. They jumped on him. Lovett, when we went to the cell the following morning, we got the news. We went there. His head was swollen, internal bleeding, bruises all on him. His face, he was whipped. He was whipped by even the AFL guys. We got really, really angry when they saw a group of different people from campus stood for him and asked the critical questions. What did he do? Did you see him break into anyone's home? Do you have evidence of anyone saying their things were missing and you saw their things with him? All of those critical questions were asked. Police could not answer. The law enforcement officer, the AFL guys could not answer. Even people in the neighborhood, the lady who said, oh, I just saw him walking around 3 something in the morning and I felt that he was rogue. And I just put row behind him. That broke my heart to see that. That's the reason why you see I have empathy for people, because it's possible that he got his pass. But my thing there, your past can be based on what's happening now. You can know that because somebody used to steal or can steal, and when something is happening now, you conclude right away that that person is a criminal. So that's the reason why the law should take its course, right? You bring the law because you want to erase all doubts. You want to make sure that the penalty that person deserves, and based on our constitution, that person is going to get it. But sometimes too, these things happen, and people get sentimental about it. It's roll, they chase you, they beat you, they kill you. But it's still possible that you have stolen before, but it's possible that particular crime you are being accused of, you didn't do it. It ain't happen. It's still possible. And that's the reason why I think the rule of law is something that we should follow, we should protect, we should honor, then mob violence. Because what's going to happen, it scares everyone. It scares even investors too, because investors too can have their personal time and go to the club and go somewhere and get drunk and drink. And the next thing you start accusing them because you have not seen them in your neighborhood before. These things happen. It could happen to me. I could be in Monrovia enjoying my personal time, and somebody would just accuse me. And before I can even explain myself, my violence is taking place. So we cannot, until these things can come to your doorstep, you cannot overlook the ramification, the adverse reaction, the injustice being done to other people. My point there, leave it to the rule of law. Leave it to the police officers. Leave it. Leave it to them, because it makes our country look unsafe. It makes our country look bad. It makes our country look like we don't follow anything that's standardized. We don't follow anything that is universally acceptable. We don't do it. And that's the reason why you see us we are falling behind. In every area, we are falling behind. We're not doing well. So for me, if you want these things you want to reset, you must put people in there to understand the ramification, to understand the repercussion, to understand how it hurt us, how these things hurt us more than even build us. It's hurting our country. That picture, to see the way the guy was being mobbed, is destroying us. And people think that I listen to a grown man, an educated man. Imagine if an educated man on TV or on live can explain and say it's sweet for him. In fact, I will go the way he breathes for me, I'll go and end his life. Then imagine somebody who does not read and write. Imagine, imagine an educated man. Listen to him. An educated man was saying that if I can go and end his life right now,
and look well dressed, look like he's somebody
well dressed person. Then imagine our issues are a lot deeper than what we think, because even the educated ones right now, the ones that we think that are educated, that should know better, are the ones that are in the wrong more. So you expect someone who does not know anything to be able to think independently? That's why we're struggling. So that's my whole take to it. And I'll say thank you for the show. We need leadership. We need leadership in all areas in our country. We need leadership in our homes. We need leadership in our community. We need leadership in the family level. The first, the subset of the country, the family level is the first stage. We need leaders. We need fathers. We need mothers. We need parents that will start to take control and change things around, or else we're going to go through a long, long way going through these struggles, no matter what happens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emmerich. So, Yasini and Emmerich, thank you for letting me be on, and at least once a week you see me. Just once a week. I'm not committing to nothing more and nothing less.
Once a week is good.
Once a week. That's it. 2 hours. And now we have 2 hours, 6 minutes. So that's not too bad.
Yes.
Well, Yasini, what Emmerich just said, where Emmerich go? Oh, he's listening. When I would say when folks, I would just say folks, whoever is doing it, they know themselves. When folks consciously criminalize poverty, it leads to stuff like this.
Yep.
That's why I was asking the question about GDP and all that. So you give your analogy about your dad, or the figurative dad gave money and somebody take it and got to go beg to see you for your own thing. Mm-hmm. So when people in position, it's not in position of power, like Emmerich said, happy anywhere. When something is for you and you don't get it, and it makes you don't reach your self-actualized self, and then when you make mistake, now you want to criminalize. So that's what I mean. When folks consciously, so you know what you're doing, criminalize poverty. Do you imagine? And it's not only unique to Liberia. Let me make it perfectly clear. Mm-hmm. So, all parts of the world, including the place I work, white people were, working 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. While with one person had 2-3 yachts or mansions, and it's okay. So that's with that. So that one is a deeper lever to go down to. And then another thing you said in my closing, short-term goal, because that's why I kept asking about the 3 easy questions. So in that, and whoever this person is, Ambassador Thomas Jr., mm-hmm. Let me let you know, you don't, I mean, if you're waiting for 1,000 people to be here, it's going to come. It's going to come.
It's been here. It's
so that's how she did. Yeah, that's okay. But that just how, for the people that started coming, just since you're sitting, used to be 2,000-3,000 out there. Watch it way back. It's going to come. She just said 16 months. Come back in the middle of 16 months and see what happens. We're turning over a new leaf. I just said you get what you get, and you don't get to. We don't want to wait. So we'll put our money where our mouth is. We empower the people through suggestions. She just said 16 months. Mine take on one of my easy questions for Liberia for us to answer. Let's clean our city. I said that this other day. For those that you didn't get it, this Christmas time, when somebody come visit you, you clean your house, because nobody coming to a dirty house. Liberia is dirty. So no tourism coming there right now. That one I want priority right now. The house is dirty, filthy. You cook good food in the house, set, you will not eat it. You wear clean clothes, set, you will not
Mhm.
sit in a chair. So if the government is set up, I don't want to be labor as we just speak truth to power and criticize and don't do nothing. Let's clean the city. So even if we in the diaspora or anywhere in different part in the sub-region want to come even to see, to assess, to see how we can give back, yeah, it be pleasing to the eyes. Why we didn't keep it that dirty when the interim government was there, when all that money was there? We had divided Liberia into 4 quarters and we privatized all 4 of them. And that said it was clean with Mirabeau. It was clean. So let's start there. So y'all second divide like Moravia into 4 quarters. 1 quarter, the 2 or 3 district there. Y'all come together. I mean, I know protesting business. Y'all come together as the citizen. Let's say really, I'm gonna play my parents' house is. Y'all come together. The 2, 3 lawmakers are in that section. Y'all say, look, we do not want this day. Because that dirt, that long-time disease process, I don't even go down that road. Tomorrow, maybe next time we'll talk about the latrine, the sewage water. So that dirt that we inhaling, sometimes people be burning it. It's gonna cause more problem in the future for your grandbabies, even the unborn ones. So for the short-term goal for 2025, y'all come together in your neighborhood and y'all tell the 2, 3 lawmakers together, whatever money y'all giving to XYZ, y'all give it to us. Our set will elect the people to clean our neighborhood and will pay that truck. Will make sure that the money they will pay them and see if your neighborhood will not be changed. Let's start there because nobody coming to a dirty house to come to anything good. And nobody come to come help you clean your dirty house for free. So if the foreigner come to come help you clean your house, trust me, those family heirlooms that the day not cover, they're coming for it. Your gold, your diamond, the fast money to be made, everything. So I will end on this. You'll find in each neighborhood, you'll find an initiative. Nobody coming to save you. So let's start small. When we finish with cleaning the house, then we'll go to food. And then we'll go to clothing. So food, clothing, that's what the Bible says. So that would be my short-term goal. Let's start with the necessity of life because if everybody have a lot of good food, everybody, the environment was clean, people making backyard gardening, people will not have time to be looking for food like this for 8 hours. So all the plenty things that we're talking, let the next, so you tell your lawmaker, then the president put it in instead of your address in January. All you have to do is just tell your lawmaker then, can you add how we clean the city? That all we want for half of next year. You can do whatever and I approve in your budget. The other people will be talking about it, but the money for the cleaning the city part, let's take it out from the government and let's give it to Liberian people business that we know them. You already know anything Jungle Johnson today. If they give it to a private company, they clean, you know who to go to. Let's start there. Then maybe we can bring our children and our friends then back to at least kind of assess and see how much we can give back. But nobody coming to an old man with the oldest nation in Africa. Nobody coming to an old man living in filth. That place start tonight. We'll continue tomorrow.
Thank you so
On
much,
that
Sister.
note, thank you, Second Thought Africa. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the length of time you have stayed consistent talking to Liberian people business. I can never be you. I don't even try to envy you. I cannot understand your tenacity, but all we can say is thank you. Don't give up. And thank God you were modeling yesterday like a 30-year-old or 20-year-old. So I know you still got a lot of oomph still in you.
I do.
And
I do. Oh my God. I
so we,
do.
we,
I
we will
do.
continue to be the hand. Some of us the hand behind your back, but you're not bring her to walk side by side with you.
Thank
And
you.
then And then we're trying to do our best, but let's help. We're not picking a new government right now. So let's just give short terms, easy tangibles so we can start growing a little bit. We shouldn't stop moving. That's what Martin Luther King said. You can't run, walk, you can't run, crawl, you can't crawl. Do something, but God damn it, don't stop moving.
That is correct. Thank you so much, Sister Yama. Thank you, Emric. Let's have a good night. I want to end on this with Sis Ruth that says, today on a live camera, they stoned a young man to death while the supplementary payroll are filled with lawbreakers, relatives, and nothing is done about it. From all indication, if Liberians are not careful, I am afraid. But I want to give name and face to this young man who were murdered today. His name is Jadiba Simba. It's a young man, a very young man. And I think he is younger than the first three of my children. And it breaks me to think my kids at home, majority of them, about 13, 14, they already have jobs that they could go to when they were in high school, where at the same time they were still getting their allowances. I talk, and I'm going to talk till something happens. Even in my death, maybe somebody will be empowered to talk, and a lot of people have been empowered on this platform to talk. I'm going to speak directly to the president. My papi Bwaka, maybe lately we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but we agree on a lot of things before. We come a long way. I would believe that at your age, I'm hoping that your administration will be about legacy, the better Liberia that you once explained to us, that you will curb the lawlessness that you once spoke about, that you will also curb the corruption that you talk about, that the young people will be at the center and the front and the middle of your vision of the Liberia that you once painted the picture of, that the people believe in to have you elected. If you must change those around you, you need to save Liberia, to save this generation and next generation. We don't have 6 years. We have exhausted 1 year already. You have less than 4 years. Take the next 2 years. In fact, this coming year, do a U-turn, build a new foundation, amplify hope for Liberians. That's all I can say at this point. So I want to say to all of you, Sister Jamal, thank you acknowledging the young man who came out, about 6 people watching. Some of you believe in quantity, some of us believe in quality. If
Thank
we
you.
touch one life today, for us, that's very important. One life. That's all we need at a time.
Yeah,
Change starts
discuss
with
the
one.
issue, conscientize them, and
Yes,
give their small
yes.
layman power to the people's suggestion.
Thank you.
That's all we can do.
Thank you, Sister Yama and Emmerich. Guys, good night. Billy,
Good night.
thank you for watching all the way from Dengama. Thank you to all of you who log in from all over the world, especially up interior like Dengama, Putu and those places. That was powerful. Thank you for logging in. We appreciate
Okay.
you. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys. See you next Sunday. Bye.
See you. Yes.